Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and this is our work session for July 16th. We'll just go over our agenda items for this month. And the first item is to approve the minutes of the prior board meeting. Everyone's had a chance to look at those, hopefully, and if there's any changes to the prior meeting minutes, we'll need to do that Thursday in an amendment to the minutes. And if there's nothing to discuss on that, we can move along to the agenda. Everybody's had a chance to look over that. If there's anything to add, we can amend that also at Thursday's meeting. We can go down to the treasurer's report at this time. Eric?
Thank you. There's nothing real significant in terms of revenues. You'll notice the expenses have gone up in June. That's mainly due to payroll, the four payrolls that occur in June for the 185-day employees. I did want to tell you all, just like if you get an opportunity, say something to the people in the ladies in the finance department. We've been doing the end of year closeout. They've been doing a fantastic job getting things done. It takes the whole team to get it done. So, but otherwise, things good so far this morning.
What do you got, 24th of this month to send the package in?
25th is when I send the AFR in, the financial report. I'll advertise it. And so we hope to get it done just a little bit early just to make sure that we're, doesn't get kicked back, but I think we're right on target.
When will our auditors be here?
August 6th, the week of the 6th, and then the next week as well. The 6th through the 17th.
Is there any further questions or discussion on the treasurer's report? If not, we will move along to the bills and salaries payments.
Excuse me. Just another small month. Really, you'll notice the biggest payment really is the debt service payment that we have this month.
Is there anything for discussion on that? And if not, we'll go to payment of the school bills.
The school secretaries have been doing their year-end closeout as well. You'll see the boxes here. The auditors were here last week going through their items. They did mention just in passing, the auditors did in passing that, again, things have improved again this year on a school level. Last Thursday, we did a training for the transition to the new EPES software, the school-based accounting system that we're transitioning to. It was a long day, but it's a really good system, and I think a lot of positive things came out of that. So.
And if there's nothing there, we will go down to the superintendent report. Anything you want to mention?
Yeah, I'll just mention, one of the reasons we're kind of set up like this is we're kind of, downstairs, they're putting the roof on, and so it's been going on for 2 or 3 weeks, so usually Cindy's been displaced a little bit, and things that usually happen down there happen up here, so that's why we've got a different setup. And Thursday, you have a letter. I wanted to make sure I mentioned, Carla gave you all a letter about Thursday, Felix Martin Hall for the retirees. Starts at 4 o'clock, so if you can get there then, that's when we'll recognize them. Everything else I'll go over Thursday.
Okay. Sounds good. So our personnel actions for June 13th to July 11th.
We've just been busy.
Been busy. I know. Y'all have made me a little busier. If there's nothing on personnel actions, we'll go on down to the yearly data security address.
That will be our typical update on confirming that we meet the best practice requirements for any type of data security and make sure vendors have correct policies in place and things like that. Each year.
Thank you. We'll move on down to our textbook purchase for, is it Longest? Yeah, Longest Elementary. That's Penny.
Yes, and it's just a standard textbook purchase. They're wanting to get some literature books. They're making the exact purchase that Greenville Elementary made for their reading, and it's for grades 3 through 5. And it'll cost $20,475 to make the purchase. They're combining their total 16-17 allocation, which is $14,382.64, with $6,092.36 of their 2017-18 allocation to make the purchase. So they'll have $1,696.44 left in their textbook funds after they make this purchase. They received their state permissions to make this purchase today for each of those grade levels. And all the paperwork is in order.
Sounds good. Any discussion on that? If not, we'll go down to the alternate school policies and procedures.
That's me.
That's you, Alex.
We are to review the alternate program policies and procedures each year. Basically what you have, and it's very similar to what was approved last year, there's been one change to the assignment section of the handbook. The 18-week rule, which applies to drugs, alcohol, weapons on school campus. That wording has been changed a little bit, left more open-ended. We will still use the 18-week rule as a guide, but it doesn't use the zero tolerance language. And this was something that was recommended and suggested by one of our lawyers. If you have any questions during the week, feel free to call or email me.
He said it's with the assignment section,
Yes.
so it's already been taken out?
Yes.
So there's no zero tolerance now, right?
Right. Alrighty, any further discussion on that? If not, we'll move down to the memorandum of agreement with the Penny Royal Mental Health Center, Ms. Penley.
This is fairly straightforward, and it's basically a repetition of the contract that we had with them last year. Dates have just changed, and that's it. If you want to look at the decision paper and the fourth paragraph there, is where it's highlighted that it doesn't cost our school district anything. Medical cards and self-payers are the primary source of payment to Penny Royal Center, and partnering with Penny Royal Center doesn't change the dynamic or the role of our guidance counselors or school psychs. They're still very busy in the counseling. It's just an added service to our kids.
Okay. Any questions on that? Much needed service, right? Okay. And the next one is a memorandum of agreement with Hopkins County Schools for a teacher for the visually impaired.
And we do have 6 students who have vision impairments, and they require a specialized teacher. And so we're able to partner with Hopkins County. This will be the second full year that we've been able to do that. So it's a full-time teacher in Hopkins County, but we borrow her 1 day a week. So basically, we pay a small portion to have our kids' needs taken care of. And so that's worked out really well. So we would like to do that again. They've offered to let us borrow her. So this is a contract that would need to be signed again this year.
Okay. Is there any discussion on that? If not, we will move along with the contract with Teresa Combs for legal services for special education, Americans with Disabilities Act, and Family Medical Leave Act. Ms. Finley.
So again, this is a repetition from last year. The legal team with this law firm, they are experts in special education, 504, personnel type issues, and so we've tried to utilize her, and that money is definitely well spent. The money to pay for this service does come out of special ed funds, and we budgeted that again for next year. So this is a letter of engagement that she has sent that will require some signature.
We used them last year, or have been using them for some time?
Yeah, actually, KSBA provided this service as, through the district services in the past, but 3 years ago, they did away with that section, and so all the school districts were basically left to themselves to find representation that specializes in special education issues in 504, and that's a very small, maybe a subset, but it's actually the most litigated area for schools, and so having somebody who specializes in that is very important, and that actually cuts down on costs when you think of all the research time that goes into what they have to prepare for. So this lady who we work with, her name is Teresa Combs, and in fact, I think she's scheduled to come and do some trainings for our entire staff on opening day, so we're excited to have her here. So she's a huge resource, and I think we Melody uses her. So we do pay that out of special ed funds, and we forward to that and it is
Sounds good. Any further discussion? If not, we'll move down to the ARC and 504 chairpersons for the 18-19 school year. You
These
again?
have to be approved every year, and they're not listed by name, but you'll see Director of Special Education, our preschool disability coordinator, our guidance counselors, school psychologists, and principals will all be designated as people who can chair those meetings for special education and 504s, and our laws require us to have designated chairs, so you have to approve those.
Okay. Any questions? If not, we'll go down to the second reading of the KSBA Board Policy Number 41.
Each, the procedures take one reading. Each year we go through and update those at KSBA. This is the policy, and if you do the second reading, so after this, we can get some signatures and send it on this stuff.
All right, any questions? We've already had that a month or two ago. All right. We'll go on down to the declaring outdated technology surplus. Mr. Wells?
This is our yearly, and twice a year, regular disposal of home technologies. We'll surplus it and use a reputable recycling company to do that.
Any questions?
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we do a lot of our removal during the summer, and we've piled up several pallets of old technology.
Is there any discussion on that? Okay, we'll go on down to consider the student resource officer agreement with Central City.
Thank you. This is just a continuation of the current agreement that we have with Central City. This hasn't changed since its inception.
Same thing.
So now, how many resource officers will we have now? This has been an agreement since last year, so we'll have how many?
4. The
new one from Greenville, one
Adding
Central City
one.
and two we have already.
We'll go down to the next one, item J, granting permanent easement to the recreational trails program for the development of an asphalt trail located on west campus of the high school.
This is part of the second phase of the Ray Jones complex where they're going to do about a mile-long asphalt trail that goes behind West Campus. And in order to do so, they've asked for permanent easement on there. I've also included in the letter that says, you know, should the easement fail to be maintained for a period longer than 1 year or become unusable, it will revert back to the ownership of the Muhlenberg County Board of Education. And that was per our legal counsel recommended that.
Didn't they have this before when they originally started the first phase?
I didn't see anything in the interlocal agreement or, yeah.
They'll have to have at that point too. When they started, had to have a,
I believe it was part of the interlocal agreement that they had in place, and then the lease agreement, the 99-year lease.
So now what cost is it to us, or are they paying us?
There's no cost.
There's no cost. And they have funds to pave it and make the trail?
Yes,
Are we still paying their power bill out there?
we are.
Okay.
But again, we're on that new rate.
yeah. That helped a lot after 7 o'clock rate to 8 o'clock rate at night. That's why they died. Well,
Yeah.
get out of here.
So now, it's called the Recreational Trails Program? Is that what it's called through Felix Martin or the Ray Jones Park?
I
Is that
believe so.
right?
Yes.
Is that a separate entity, I guess?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Okay, is there any other comments on that?
Jacob Hill Trail.
If not, we'll go down to the consideration of advertising and issuing requests for proposal for guaranteed energy savings contract pursuant to KRS 45A.352.
Thank you again. This is really what we've been talking about for a couple of years now, where the funds were restricted. We would like to put a proposal or advertise to start getting requests for proposal for the HVAC replacement at East Campus and get a guaranteed energy savings contract in place. The one that we currently have is working swimmingly, so I think it's a good thing for the district.
Who do we have currently?
Harshaw Train. They're the ones that came and spoke when we were at Bremen.
And so they'll have a chance to actually bid or make a proposal for this also?
Correct.
That's the one for $500,000 almost, we're looking at, roughly, or more.
It's a little more. It's between 5 and 7.
Just south, East Campus, right?
East Campus, and then we're doing the power plants the plant room at West Campus, replacing the old boilers that are there. They're highly inefficient with some new boilers.
That's fine.
And not necessarily building the entire infrastructure, but getting some of the things in place that would, in the future kind of build off of.
We did set the money aside for this.
Correct.
You said 5 to 7 million?
Then we have the SFCC funds that we've set aside, and I'm working with the bonding agent to figure out, what we lay out in terms of cash as opposed to bonding, what's going to be the best mix for the district in terms of leveraging and debt, so.
As we get closer to time, when these come in, we'll invite you in, if you'd like, a couple at a time, and really go over it, answer any questions there as well. Maybe bring whoever gets the, comes in, maybe bring them in to speak as well, so everybody can kind of understand where we're going, because it's obviously a big project.
Any state rebate?
Excuse me?
Any state rebate on energy saving? If you don't?
A lot of it has to do with, they incorporate some lighting projects into it to help get some of the savings. There are rebates involved, but that comes off of the cost of what we're paying.
So are we able to bond now, or?
We do, and we've got SFCC funds that we've been escrowing over the last few years.
Okay.
So this year we should be getting another, at the fiscal year 2019, we should be getting another set of funds. So then we're gonna put that towards this, and then hopefully reducing the amount of restricted funds that we need to put out. So
not all of it would be bonded, obviously, so just a portion, $1 million or something, possibly, we're looking at that. So when we get further along, we'll definitely bring that in, and
So
this
what,
is just getting it started.
so what is your estimate on the FSCC funds for next year? Or even any time of the year?
well, they come in around about 1.3, 1.4 million. It's based on the state numbers that they give them. And we have bonds that are gonna be paid off in the next 3 years, so it'll open us up a little bit more.
Which ones will be paid
We're
off?
starting to dig out of the hole. I'll have to look that up for you. I think it's a 2012 or a 2007 issue.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? If not, we'll move on to declaring 3 bus bodies surplus. Okay.
These are the bodies from the 3 buses that we destroyed the engines in order to get the 30% discount on the other buses, which are actually part of the significant bills that were for last month. It's a really good thing. So there's somebody that wants to buy the bodies of the buses instead of scrapping them, so we'll get more money out of them, which is fantastic. So it's a win-win situation for us.
Who wants to buy them?
I do not know the
We
gentleman.
don't have to bid them out because they wouldn't be more than the 20,000 or
No,
whatever.
no, and
Just-
really, you've got 3 ways that you can do. You can set a fair price. They can be scrapped, or we can do a sealed bid. But honestly, the way that if we do a sealed bid, that same person can bid $1,000, and we won't get less. So the way that it is right now, we took the buses were taken to scrap to see what the weight would be, and the guy paying for the body is going to pay more than what we would have received than we would have if we had scrapped it. So it's a really good situation for us.
Sounds good. Alright, and then down to, our leave of absences and fundraising requests. Everyone's had a chance to look over that. Is there anything that stands out?
Let them raise funds. Of course, for good cause.
Any questions for that?
Does this, on the sick leave, it doesn't have when? Do you even say when?
Where's it at?
See it?
The last one. August 11th. September 15th. Invitational, yeah. It's something in the whole year.
I don't know, it says April language of June 30th, 2019, that's a whole year. But it doesn't, it says sick leave, but it doesn't give the days, like it says here, but
That's all.
They may not have security.
Yeah, he's good.
So if they have personal leave, do they have personal leave? What do you get, so many, you only get a few days for that?
Well,
So would it be unpaid?
yeah.
Potentially, but I don't know specifics.
He has a drink of wine.
If they're saying that means you don't have to put it here, because this is the whole time.
No, I'm just looking what was marked. And that was in March, so.
Anything else to discuss?
I just need a motion to.
And there'll be food there Thursday, you get there early
Yeah,
and eat with it.
about 4:45.
I think we have 30 retirees. Food, come for food.
All right, if
Of
that's,
the retired people, are there any positions that will
Who's
be
paying for the?
you
not
are,
posted, like through
Okay.
attrition or
The
looking at reducing?
Yes.
Who's paying for the food?
Am I?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head, I can get that for you.
I know that was part of the strategic plan, but I was just,
As we can.
Some of them
do.
weren't replaced,
right,
correct?
but how many?
I think there were 3 classified and certified. If that's incorrect, I can send you the correct number. It may be 4, but I believe it was.
anything else? I just need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Joe Hart, second by Ms. Wells. We're adjourned. See you Thursday at Felix Martin.